party people? What is poppin'? Today is a very special day. I'm going to be recording my warm-up routine. This is very important to me. Why is this important to me? Because before you start any exercise, before you do any workout, you should always have warm muscles. If you don't come with warm muscles, you're not prepared to play. You're not ready for the game. Your head is still over there, but your head needs to be in over here, not in the sand, but up here, so that you can actually do your exercises and any workout you choose to the best of your ability. Number 2, if you don't crack, you don't rack. What do I mean by that? I don't understand how you're going to push yourself to your max, to the most amount of weight or force that you can do, like really work out, if you don't have every single joint of your body prepped to be able to handle that force, that weight, and to bear the burden. You need to warm up. And to do that, you need to do something called CARS rotations. It's just joint rotations, basically. I don't even know what it stands for, to be honest. But I do know that it involves rotating every single joint of your body in a forwards and backwards circular motion so that you can start moving some sort of fluid in your joints that will actually help your joints move more smoothly and more easily. This is a scientific process that basically has the principle behind it. Movement creates movement. Movement aids mobility. Movement is becoming healthy and staying young. If you don't move, you lose the ability to move. It's just a very straightforward and basic concept. So without further ado, let's get right into it. This is a warm-up routine that will accurately and most definitely go through every single portion of your body and address how it should be moving so that you can do any exercise, therefore any workout routine, to the best of your ability, and to do it with confidence. So, first and foremost, I like to start from the ground going up. You can start from your head to your toes, or can you? Let's do ground up. Okay, we're gonna start stabilizing our body so we can have the balance to do these exercises without falling on our face. So, if you need to, I suggest for all beginners or anybody who doesn't have full functionality of their body to use an aid. So you could be sitting down on a bench, you could be holding on to the wall or a pole. Basically, if you need to balance, because you can't do this routine just off of your own balance, please do that. That's what I did for many months, and then as I did it more and more often, I got the ability to be able to do it standing on my own leg. And if you do choose to stand on your own leg, please make sure there's a slight bend in your knee so your leg isn't locking and becoming stiff and really stressing the muscles and tendons out. So you can start with your right side or your left side. I'm just going to do one side of my body for the whole demonstration, and then obviously off camera I will do the other side of my body and I'll go work out. But to make things shorter and to make things more compact, I'm going to do it this way. So first, you should also be doing this without your shoes on, and preferably without socks, but the ground is wet. But without shoes and without socks will increase your foot's ability to stretch and to really flex and get a good release of tension. And a lot of shoes aren't structurally made to conform to our feet in general, so it does constrict the ability of the toes to move, and that's a no-go. So really you want wider running shoes or whatever shoes you want to use for your workout, and you don't want tight constricting socks either. Note aside, I'm going to rotate my ankle going clockwise and then counterclockwise, just like so. To really benefit this routine and to get the maximum potential, you can slow down each rotation and push into the movement with your body so that you really open up the joint and the amount of rotation and flexibility that you are capable of. Now, very important, maybe I will take off my shoe. We can also do this way as well. I find that bending your knee actually opens up a whole slew of other muscles on the front of your shin that you don't normally feel, and it feels really stressful. I mean, really good to do it like this. Okay, this is my favorite part. Is actually my favorite part. I don't know what I did as a kid, but clearly I wasn't doing shit right, because I don't know why I fucked up, but I fucked something up and now I have a lot of cracks, but it's okay. I'm not in pain. Foot flexes. Oh, that felt good. So I would be doing it like this, but you can't see it. So I just wanted to show you that I'm flexing my foot and pointing it. And then I do it in reverse. You're like, how do you do it in reverse? I'm like, I pull up from the bottom with my toes. And you're like, that looks the same. Well, F off. It feels different. Oh yeah, that felt good. So you do that a couple times. The dogs are out. Cheeks are out. If you think I'm not wearing modest clothes, it's because you're right. All bets aside though. Fifth off. Anyway, for bonus, if you need extra relief and extra help, if you have any sort of foot problems, a great foot exercise to add to this would be writing the cursive alphabet with your foot. So you can like lead with your toe. So I'd be like A, B, C, and just practice that on both feet. Now, after you do that, I like to open up my knee by swinging and making sure that I can bend my knee and that there's nothing constricting that movement. Basically, the reason why this is also important, as you can see, I can go on about this forever and ever, is that this is a full body check. It not only opens your body, it allows you to check to see what you can and cannot do. So if you're having any pain in any of these exercises, that is a note to you to keep doing these exercises, but do not hurt yourself. Do it slow, do it controlled. Just slow down the movement. Make sure to breathe. Lead with your breath. Transmute any discomfort you feel, transmute it to your breath. And deeply, slowly do that movement with love and intention of healing. Think positive thoughts only, and just imagine a brighter day where you will do it with no pain. So anyway, I do some of these, and then to do the inverse of that, I like to rotate my knee and hip like that. Then, to secure the deal, I'll do a full leg rotation. So I'm moving my full leg in and out. And this all helps and leads up to the bigger picture about hip mobility and longevity. I do a couple of these. These are very good, very important, and it's very necessary that you have the right posture. This does not feel right, so I want you to have a slant in your back and to bend from the middle, from your core, and open it. Now we're going to rotate our hip forwards and backwards in a circle. So I'm opening it up, pushing it out to the side, and coming back in. Making sure to keep my weight balanced up through my leg, through the middle of my body and my spine. Now what? I skipped a part, but that's okay. Doesn't have to be in perfect order. I like to slowly lift my leg up and down while moving my ankle all the way around, side to side. I feel like this just increases flexibility and hypermobility in my leg. And then for bonus, this is the part where you should and definitely need a pole to grab onto. You can swing your leg and then point your foot. Do that a couple times. Repeat it on the other side of your body. Now we'll move on. Great. Now we'll move on to the wrist. This is my second favorite part. Starting off strong, we're going to start with wrist rotations. To put a bonus on it, you'll do a rising sun and a sunset. And then you'll make sure to reverse directions. I'm doing it with a closed fist, but I will also switch to an open palm. And this will also open up even more of your joints. Now we're going to start that momentum up. Start swinging our arms back and forth. This feels really good. And then we're going to catch our elbow and tug it, making sure to vibrate our arms, because the whole point of this warm-up, also very important, is that it's a dynamic warm-up. And so static stretching, static holds, basically any of these exercises that you see me doing right now, technically it could be a static stretch, but that's very important not to do before you warm up, because the whole point of warming up is to warm up, hence the name. And static stretching will cool down your muscles, it will elongate the ligaments, and it will dramatically increase the risk and the ability for your muscles to have an injury, for for you to injure yourself in general. And so that's why you always save it for the end. And stretching after you work out is just as vital as warming up before you work out. Basically, every single part to work out is as vital as the workout itself. So if you skip it, if you mess up the rotation, in the long run, it will have detrimental effects to your health, and it'll actually be worse than if you didn't work out at all because of the way you're working out wrong. And I firmly believe this, and this is also not taught correctly in every single school system, and that sets you up for failure and visits to the hospital later on. And so the more we educate people about the correct way to work out, the more confidence and the more healthy our generation will be. And it should never be taken as an insult if someone tells you, hey, you need to do a dynamic warm-up, not a static warm-up. Static before you work out is wrong. It shouldn't be taken as an insult. It's not you're wrong, it's just in general not good for you, period. Anyway, back to wrists. So what? Hold this. Okay, so back to wrist. I'm gonna flick my wrist. I hold it, and I like to flip my wrist, and then I grip my wrist right below, and this will help lock in your bones so that you can realign your hand and really make it lock into place and pop back to where it belongs. Warming up like this is also, cars rotations is very good for the alignment of your body in general. If your posture or somewhere in your alignment is not great. Is not great, doing this will help get that back on track. Then I clasp my hands, I rotate it like this. I'll do the wave as well. Really helps, stretches each finger. It's important to do the little stuff like this because the fingers and the toes, it's all connected. You have meridians throughout your whole body, and so splits your body up into sectors, and each sector needs to be whole to complete the whole. And so if one little sector is wrong, it can mess up the whole of your body. Like, let's say your pinky for some reason is misaligned, you start feeling it elsewhere in random places. You're like, oh gosh, my back, oh my knee, like what's going on? But it's from your pinky. I don't know, science. I like to crack my knuckles. This is a good time to pop it, lock it, pull your fingers when your body is starting to warm up. It's easier to do these things when you are warmed up. These are really good if you have carpal tunnel or you work with your hands a lot. I'm like fully stretching out my whole hands, making fists, really letting the muscles of my hand get some relief, pushing into the meat of my thumb, this middle part, massaging the space between my knuckles, in case you use your hands like that as well. And I think that's it for the hands, the wrists, back to shoulders. We are going to unlock. And going to rotate. This will help open up your neck. It will help dissolve the tension in your traps. It will help open up your chest. Very important. It will help stimulate your armpits, where a lot of lymphatic fluid is held for breaking down chemicals and toxins that you accumulate from your environment every day in your body. I love to do this. Just like how I rotated my whole leg, I'm rotating my whole arm, and it allows you to feel the connection between your elbow and your forearm and your bicep, and really see if you have any elbow pain, anything like that. Then obviously I'm doing some pullbacks. This will help target this back section behind your heart, in the middle. Bending down is very important as well. You want to make sure to have a couple of pulses so that you can stimulate your core and your stomach. Which is the powerhouse of your whole body. That's where a lot of your energy is stored and will come from. And the faster you activate your abs, the faster you activate the rest of the muscles in your body when working out. Because that's where all the support and stability stems from. So to have stronger exercises and movements, you want a stronger core and a breathing pattern as well. You want to make sure you breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth, expanding your diaphragm and stomach, breathing in on the eccentric, or is it eccentric? And then exhaling all the air out on the decentric portion of your body. And this will also help with your exercises as well, because the eccentric inhale of breath if you reverse the order, if you exhale when performing the movement, you won't have as much power. The oxygen in your blood cells will be removed. So it's counterintuitive, because in order to give life to a movement, you have to have life in your blood already. And so your body relies on the oxygen to perform these exercises. And so that's why you exhale when coming back to the starting position of any exercise, because now you're coming back to a rest state where you're not doing the work. And so the eccentric portion is important to your core, that you're doing it correctly, because if you do an exercise while you're exhaling and then inhale in the rest state, your core will actually start having the inverted dome appearance, and your core will no longer be flat. It will be pushed out, because essentially when you inhale, do the exercise, and then exhale at the end, teaching your body that in your rest state you want to be flat. But if you reverse it, in your rest state you'll be full, and then while you're doing the exercise you'll be flat. And to do the exercise, you want to be full, because you have the power, you have the strength, you want to use those muscles. And when you're full, that's when the muscles are working to the best of their capabilities. So basically, to remember that simply and apply it to any exercise, you're going to inhale at the start. Hold, perform the exercise. And at the end of your exercise, you exhale it all out. So you're going to start with a full breath of air. Hold it, tighten and tuck your core, do the exercise, and then release it and expel out all the air. Anyway, now I'm going to do some beloved neck rotations. Feel free to really slow these down. It's more beneficial, relaxing that way. It's better for your spine. Your spine wants to trust you and know that you hold its safety. So you're just not going to wildly swing your head around all the time. That's how you invite not the best of spirits, but a slow and controlled motion will help stimulate all the senses in a godly and divine manner. Now I'm going to do some arm circles. These are really good. Never give these up, especially if you have any rotator cuff injuries from the past or are currently dealing with it. Because the more, like let's say you can't lift your arm this high because you are currently experiencing an injury in the rotator cuff, you still need to try. And you can't give up. You still need to try. And the overload progressive principle basically states that if you push your body a little bit harder each day, your body will never become used to or stagnant in this adaptation process, and it will always be striving to adapt, and it will help you excel any performance area that you're looking for, because you're always keeping your body on its toes and putting it in a new environment. New environments create new memories and creates a better perception of time and truth and energy, and it's very important that you respect that and don't become fully endorsed in a routine that maybe you should switch things up every now and then a little bit. Except for this routine. Don't switch it up. Never. I'm just kidding. Anyway. I think that's it, bruh. Am I missing anything? Like, did I miss anything? Elbow bends, I did. I love these. You're like, oh, that's so simple. That's so easy. Well, can you do it? You better be able to if you're talking that talk. And if you can't, oh shoot, you need to start practicing today. You never want to be doing a tricep overhead press and then bam, your whole elbow pops and you're like, my elbow. You ever have a popped elbow? Or like injuries to your elbow? It's not common, but it sure is funny. My funny bone. And then you're crying because it really hurt. You're like, oh fuck. Didn't realize how much I loved my elbows until someone broke it. Just kidding, you don't know who that is. That's an inside joke. Anyway. And so my final concluding thought and point to this passage is that now that you've done all these rotations with me and all these little things, first of all, I did the same exact things I did to my legs as to the top half of my body. I rotated, I flexed, rotated the whole limb, I bent. Okay. Can I do that? Is that a new move? New move alert. Word. Someone pull the plug. Okay, I'm just kidding. That's not the right choice of words. Someone cut the tape. What I'm doing right now is pushing my head against my hand. You ever have like your neck and it's so sore and you're like, ow. Well, apparently you're supposed to induce tension, and in order to get the strain away, you need to make a strain. You need to strengthen the muscles, and that will help better than stretching them out. Stretching them out again. Again, it's not the right way. That is reserved for the cool down. But if you're in pain, if it's inflamed, you need to generate heat. You need to generate force, opposing contingencies of pressure, so that your muscles start regenerating and reactivating, and basically doing all those things, creating work, creating energy in order to heal. Cool down is great, but that's reserved for afterwards. Anyway, I think that's everything. I think that's the whole, maybe not the whole, because nothing ever is complete, and there's always a new fact and something else to learn and contribute to it. But it just reinforces the idea that once you know this is right, something is right, there will never not be evidence to keep supporting how right that is. There's so many different reasons, and it's just going beyond the scope of why things have a certain way in this world. And sometimes when things don't have a certain way, that's great, that's creative, that's freedom. But also, to a certain extent, the world was made with reason, and the reasons are becoming apparent and clearer, and it's more insightful and impactful to keep the intention in mind and to perform it. What's a good word? Keep the intentions in mind. Really trying to think of a word here. I'm going to keep it simple. Keep the intentions in mind and perform it how it was meant to be performed, how the natural ways intended it, what the blueprint was laid out. And once you start accepting these reasons and believing in them, you'll realize that that is its own support system, and you will be supported in your ability to perform and carry out actions for the rest of your life. We say all these things in the name of Jesus Christ and His atonement. Amen. Woo. 34 minutes. I'm talking.